The most nonsensical, mythical stories come from sailors, gang. Like, oh, it was a lady with the body of a fish and half of it was a body, but the top of her was gorgeous. Stop drinking. That, like, what are you talking about? Today we got a fire video from the one, the only, the homie. My headphones are broke. We're gonna address this shortly. My manager is coming back with new headphones for me. Chill Dude explains historical myths that were finally proven true. Let's get into it.
Number 8. Gorillas were considered a myth. This one's going to scramble your brain.
Okay.
Imagine living in a world where gorillas are as real as unicorns. For thousands of years, that was reality. African tribes had been telling Europeans about giant hairy man-beasts in the forest forever. Europeans responded the way they always did, by laughing and calling it primitive superstition. Way back in the 5th century—
Editor, why you keep panning back to me? I'm not a hairy beast. I'm actually quite smooth. I'm actually quite not hairy. Come on, bruh, be respectful.
BC, some Greek explorer named Hanno wrote about meeting aggressive creatures his guides called gorillae. Everyone just figured he saw some angry chimps after a few too many wineskins. Fast forward to 1847. A doctor named Thomas Savage gets his hands on some skulls that made him question everything. These things were massive, with teeth that could crack coconuts and bone structures that looked humanish, but definitely weren't. Then Paul de Chaillu actually went into the jungle and saw these myths with his own eyes. Local people were probably standing there thinking to themselves, "We've been telling you about these for ages," but sure, act surprised. Even after proving lowland gorillas existed, scientists still called mountain—
All right, bro, what's up, bro? Editor, why you keep— Gunter, why you keep panning to me every time he says the word monkey gang? What's up, bro?
gorillas fake news. Those stayed in Fantasyland until 1902, when a German captain finally proved they were real. Number 7. Ball lightning was mass hysteria until recently. Picture medieval England. You're in church.
Ooga booga. That has to be a microaggression. I want you to know that.
Minding your own business. When a glowing ball of light floats through the wall, you tell people. They schedule your exorcism. For centuries, people reported these mysterious orbs during thunderstorms, glowing spheres that could hover, change direction, and pass through walls like ghostly disco balls. Scientists filed these reports under M for maybe lay off the mead. In the 17th century, a church in Devon got a visit from one of these party crashers. It left actual damage and a smell like Satan's breakfast. Everyone probably thought Judgment Day had a practice run. But modern scientists finally caught these sneaky light balls on camera. Turns out all those crazy people throughout history were telling the truth. These balls are rare plasma formations. Regular lightning is like a quick flash, and then it's gone. Ball lightning is more like it decides to hang around.
Whoa, this is real? Also, that doesn't look like lightning. That looks like me, you, him, her. Hey, I think we got to depict lightning a little better than that, bro. That don't look like the whole entire family gang.
And freak everyone out for a bit. And yes, they really threw walls. Not because they're ghost lightning, but because plasma does whatever plasma wants. Number 6. The biblical Hittite Empire was real. For centuries, the Hittites were the Bigfoot of ancient history. The Bible mentioned them dozens of times, claiming they were this massive empire that could throw down with Egypt. Historians basically laughed it off. To them, it sounded as believable as flying carpets. Then 1906 rolls around. German archaeologist Hugo Winkler is digging in Turkey when he hits—
My name and my son could never, ever, ever, ever be Winkler.
The mother lode. Not gold. Better. 10,000 clay tablets. These weren't grocery lists. This was the Hittite Empire's entire Google Drive carved in clay. Royal drama, ancient receipts, diplomatic shade. It was all in there. These tablets proved the Hittites weren't just real, they were basically the ancient world's third superpower. One tablet even recorded a peace treaty with Egypt's Pharaoh Ramesses II. It's basically the ancient version of the Cold War ending, but with more sandals and less nuclear weapons. So yeah, the Hittites went from Bible fan fiction to getting their own HBO series in the history books. Number 5. Rogue waves. Picture this. You're a sailor in the 1800s. You just survived a wave taller than a castle. And now you're trying—
That seems like my body. That sounds like my body. That sounds like my body. I can't deny that does sound like my body.
Trying to tell people about it, and they look at you like you've been drinking seawater. For centuries, sailors came back with stories about liquid mountains that rose from calm seas.
You know, I don't blame any sailor who doesn't get believed. Like, I don't feel bad for y'all. Let me tell you why. You guys just have a horrible ability to explain things. You get what I'm saying? The most nonsensical, mythical stories come from sailors, gang. Like, oh, it was a lady with the body of a fish and half of it was a body, but the top of her was gorgeous. Stop drinking. That, like, what are you talking about? A mermaid? Stop drinking. Oh, it was a god of the sea with a trident. It was literally a fork, and he used the fork to control water. I can't even use a fork on cereal. Like, I just feel like the sailors are literally some of the worst storytellers, to where the point, like, when they say something, you gotta almost be like, oh, yeah, that sounds cool, bro. Like, oh, yeah, that's crazy. That happened on the ocean, okay. Like, I feel like that's the sailor's fault, bro.
Waves that could make a ship disappear faster than a magician's rabbit. Scientists, with their fancy equations, said that was impossible. Waves had rules. Waves had limits.
Right.
Then January 1st, 1995 happened, and science got sucker punched by reality. At the Dropner oil platform off Norway, their laser equipment recorded something that shouldn't exist. An 84-foot monster wave just showed up uninvited on a day when the other waves were chilling at 20 feet. This was recorded by equipment that can't lie, can't exaggerate, and definitely can't get drunk. If that wave had hit literally anywhere else, it would have been just another story nobody believed. Now scientists think these ship-eating monsters are everywhere. They're just really, really good at not leaving witnesses. Number 4. The Norse sagas were real historical accounts. For hundreds of years, historians treated Norse sagas like your uncle's fishing stories.
The Norse sagas? What is that?
You know, where the fish gets bigger and gains superpowers every time
Caught by the ad demon again is insane.
he tells it. The Vinland sagas talked about Vikings crossing the Atlantic and setting up shop in North America. Most people dismiss this as fantasy, basically asking if Thor himself gave them a ride across the ocean. Then in the 1960s, a couple, Helga and Anne Ingstad, found something in Newfoundland, an entire Viking settlement with 8 buildings matching the saga descriptions perfectly. This place, called Lonso Meadows, had everything. Houses, workshops, even a blacksmith shop. They even found their tools.
I'm confused on why people didn't believe that people lived here. Like, I'm not understanding. Was there something about... It says, the bottom says, the Norse sagas were real historical accounts. What's so special about the Norse sagas? Am I missing something here?
Bronze pins, bone needles, and stuff for fixing their ships. They also found butternuts at the site. Now, butternuts don't grow anywhere near Newfoundland because it's way too cold. This means these Vikings weren't just camping out in Canada. They were road tripping deep into America. Number 3. Meteorites were peasant superstition until 1803. Imagine telling an 18th century...
I'm not gonna lie, I still don't believe in meteorites. Facts. Facts. Let me tell you why. You're telling me the Earth is how many square feet? Let's just throw up a random number. The Earth is like a million square feet. I have yet to see, let alone a meteorite, but a shooting star. And you want me to believe that a meteorite just fell to the planet and touched the ground? I just have a hard time believing in something when I know I've been all around this, but like I've been all around this bit and I have never seen a meteorite.
Scientists that rocks fall from the sky. They'd check if you'd been hitting the tavern too hard. For centuries, anyone claiming to see sky rocks was labeled drunk, crazy, or both. The smart people of the time were convinced the heavens were perfect.
Stanley, please. Okay, my fault, Kay. You're right.
Perfect and unchanging. Space rocks crashing the party? That was like saying your horse could do calculus. When villagers brought actual meteorites as proof, scientists had explanations. They said a volcano threw it, or that a strong wind picked it up. Anything but admitting rocks could fall from space. Then 1803 happened in L'Aigle, France. It was like the sky itself was throwing the ultimate I told you so party. Thousands of burning rocks rained down like the universe was playing dodgeball with Earth. The entire town.
I don't believe it. I don't believe that 1800 years and 1803 Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, the sequel, was happening. I just don't believe it. I'm sorry. Was noodles falling out the sky too? Like, bro, I just don't believe it.
Town saw it. Evidence everywhere. Actual space rocks you could pick up and throw at the doubting scientists. Suddenly, what were once called superstitious peasant stories became...
And how do we even confirm that it came from space? We don't have the original rock. Like, you feel what I'm saying? I feel like you could just grab a rock from somewhere else, throw it in the sky, drop it on the ground, and call it a meteor. What's the definition of a meteor, gang? I'm about to get high.
Groundbreaking scientific observations. The smartest minds in Europe had spent generations laughing at people who were accidentally doing astronomy. History has a funny way of making fools out of people who think they know everything. Number 2. The Amazons were real warriors. For thousands of years, everyone thought the Amazons were just some ancient Greek dude's fantasy.
A small body of matter from outer space that enters the Earth's atmosphere. See? That's the thing. How could it be a small body of matter if an asteroid literally burns up once it enters our atmosphere? Because it says that it has to be a small body of matter to begin with. I'm not making up the definition. Read it. A small body of matter from outer space that enters the Earth's atmosphere. So it was small when it entered, becoming an incandescent as a result of friction and appearing as a streak of light. And you expect that to like touch the ground? I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it, chat. I'm sorry. I just don't believe that. I don't think we've ever seen a meteor on Earth, gang. Except for maybe the dinosaurs, but who knows?
Warrior women who could fight as well as men? Yeah, right. Archaeologists are digging around the Black Sea when they hit something that makes their jaws drop. Female skeletons, buried with weapons.
Okay.
Not one or two, hundreds.
Okay.
These women weren't just buried with weapons like decorations. Their bones told violent stories. Healed arrow wounds, sword cuts, broken bones that only come from war. One warrior still had an arrowhead lodged in her knee. Think about that. She took an arrow to the knee and kept fighting long enough to earn a warrior's burial. Another had her skull caved in, probably while she was busy caving in someone else's.
I need me a shorty
Scientists
like
found
that.
that up to 40%
No
of all
cap.
warrior
Sorry.
graves in some areas belong to women. That's not a few exceptions. That's an entire culture of female fighters. These women were buried with full honors. Weapons, armor, jewelry, and their horses. Some were even buried with human sacrifices, which was the ultimate sign of respect back then. The Greeks actually changed their art when they met these warriors. Early Greek art shows Amazons as dainty ladies in dresses. Later art shows them as horse-riding, bow-shooting warriors in pants. That's right, the Amazons invented women wearing pants, and they did it so they could ride horses better while shooting arrows at your face. Number 1, Troy actually existed.
I was interested and then I got over it, I'm not gonna lie.
For thousands of years, Troy was the ancient world's version of
Thank you,
Hogwarts,
Domingo.
a magical city from Homer's bedtime stories that definitely, absolutely, 100% did not exist. It was mythology, not history. Enter Heinrich Schliemann. Picture the most obsessed fanboy you can imagine, but make him a rich German businessman with more money than sense.
Right.
Everyone thought he'd lost his mind when he showed up in Turkey with shovels and a dog-eared copy of Homer's Iliad. He starts digging at this random hill because Homer's descriptions kind of match the area, and then he hits gold. He didn't just find Troy. He found 9 Troys. 9 entire cities stacked on top of each other. Every time Troy got torched, invaded, or shaken to pieces, people just built a new Troy right on top. The walls he found were massive. We're talking 16-foot thick walls that were 30 feet tall. These weren't village walls. These were the kind of walls that say, "We are expecting an army." They found weapons, pottery, jewelry, and evidence of a massive fire that destroyed one of the city layers. The timing was right around when the Trojan War supposedly happened. But here's the thing about our boy Schliemann. He was the worst archaeologist in history. This guy was so pumped to find the real Troy that he literally used dynamite to blast through the upper layers. He destroyed thousands of years of history because he couldn't wait 5 minutes. Then he finds a bunch of gold jewelry, slaps it on his wife, takes glamour shots, and calls it Priam's treasure. Then he straight up steals it from Turkey like some Victorian-era tomb raider. The location made total sense, though. Troy controlled the entrance to the Black Sea. Every ship had to pass by and probably pay taxes. It was like owning the world's most profitable toll booth. So the Trojan War might have been less about Helen's pretty face and more about trade routes and money, which honestly makes way more sense. That's all for today.
W Chill Dude explains. That's crazy. I do the same for my wife, though. If I find some gold, some diamonds, baby, what you think about this right here? I ain't gonna lie, bro. That's just me, though. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe down below. I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Comment twice to help me in the algo. Peace.